check in. I just want to share quickly about Awaken, which is this weekly practice that Tejal and I are launching. So thank you so much for choosing to begin your week here. I genuinely believe that the way that we begin the Monday shapes the way we experience the entire rest of the week. And I have found that we spend so much of our lives in these fragmented spaces, and our attention is pulled towards work and family, notifications, phones, expectation, responsibilities, right? And so before we even begin the week, we're already taking these small parts of ourselves and we're kind of giving it away. And so Awaken was really birthed out of this question, which is, what happens if before we gave ourselves to the world, we first return back to ourselves? And yeah, these weekly practices today, it's just a ritual of remembering, of connection, and of just being authentically yourself, right? And so I want to just remind us that yoga isn't asking us to become someone new. It's just asking us to remember. It's just asking us to remember, not to be anyone else. Christy shared checking in, energy of tuning into the self and cultivating compassion. And Jessie shared energy today is balanced and calm. Not the norm for a Monday, but we love that, okay? And happy Pride Month to everybody who is celebrating Pride as well. Yesterday there were a lot of fun festivities, so happy to share. Hannah, yes, I saw your hand raised for a second. I don't know if you want to share anything.
Sorry, I raised it by mistake.
It's funny because even when that happens, I feel like sometimes the universe is just like, your voice needs to be put out there, even if it was by mistake. Like maybe it was actually a purpose. There was a purpose. So if there's anything coming up that you feel shared, I'll invite you to speak it into the space. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started with a little bit of pranayama wherever you are, however feels most comfortable for you to sit or stand or even relax back. I'm sitting on the floor in my kiddo's playroom. So just making sure that, again, you have enough space, you feel comfortable taking any organic movements with the body before you find your seated position, maybe rolling the shoulders of the head and neck. Taking a moment here to notice the ground or the seat underneath you, all of the point that your body is making contact with the earth. And take a moment here to notice the natural breath that's breathing the body. Maybe the breath feels a little restricted or constricted. Maybe the breath does not feel quite accessible yet, but just noticing the natural breath. And while we're here, taking a moment to honor the lands that you're on. Currently, I am on the lands of the Cheyenne, Ute, and Arapaho nations, among many other nations. And if you feel called, starting to slowly deepen the breath. Inhale and exhale out of the nose. And again, notice where you've already traveled today, what parts of your life you've already visited. And with your breath, invite yourself home. I'll invite you to take 5 slow breaths, inhaling through the nose. I am inhaling. And exhale out of the nose. I am exhaling. I am inhaling. I am exhaling. Beautiful breath at your own pace and your own time. And intentionally starting to breathe into the belly. To inhale, feeling the belly balloon open. And as you exhale, feeling the belly button relax towards the spine. Beautiful job. On your next inhale, breathing fully into the belly and breathing into the rib cage. Exhaling from the ribs and then down into the belly. Inhale into the belly, into the ribs. Exhale from the ribs and then the belly. Moving at your own pace and your own breath. And on your next inhale, expanding even more. Inhaling through the belly, the ribs, and the chest. And exhaling from the chest, then the ribs, and then the belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Inhale, belly, ribs, chest. Exhale, chest, ribs, belly. Last two at your own pace. And then, whenever you feel complete, I'll invite us into 3 cleansing sighs. Inhaling through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. Audible sigh. Inhale through the nose and releasing through the mouth. Last breath, full deep inhale and full exhale. Beautiful job. And starting to awaken now, moving through the neck. Invitation to gaze down and gaze up. Gazing down and up. If you feel that the head and neck needs a little more support, invitation to interlace the fingers behind the lower neck, just supporting the head and neck here. Again, remembering that this is your practice and practicing and moving in any way that is calling for your body. Beautiful job. Gazing left to right, looking left, and then looking right. Again, noticing the shoulders, noticing if the shoulders can stay in one place as we're gazing left and right. Moving with each breath, each movement. Wonderful job. And whenever you get back through center, right ear to the right shoulder and left ear to the left shoulder. Again, moving at your own pace, own breath. And for folks trickling in, we are just moving through some of the joints and warming up the body. And starting to take the neck in any circular motion. Noticing if there's any sighs or ooh sounds that want to come out. Wonderful job. Switching the other direction. And then again, any other natural movements with the head and neck, and any self-touch or self-massage. Coming into the shoulders next. Circling out the shoulders, big rolls up and back, down and forward. Breathing the shoulders, inhale the shoulders up, exhale them down and back, moving at your own pace and switching the direction whenever you feel ready. And remembering that it's your practice, so maybe it feels good today to just do one shoulder at a time. Maybe it feels good to do both, kind of getting into any flowy movement. Beautiful job. Shrug the shoulders up, hold here for a moment, and let them just drop hard. Beautiful job. 2 more like that. Shrug it up and drop down. Last one. And drop down. Getting into the wrists, starting to circle the wrists out. Hands are in little balls, little fists. Checking in with the hands, with the wrists. Invitation to open just the first finger like you're drawing a big circle. Wonderful job. Open 2 peace fingers. And opening 3. Opening 4. I like to call these fan hands. Opening 5, fanning the entire hand around. Switch the directions while the fingers are open. And closing in the thumbs. Closing in the pinkies. And close in the ring finger. Close in the middle finger. And closing the first. Beautiful job. Extending the arms out in front of you and spritzing like you're spritzing water on someone you're not so fond of in front of you, right? Engaging in the fingers, engaging in the forearms, coming back to your breath here. We're here for about 30 seconds. Active engagement in the forearms, feeling the tingling, noticing the hands. Can you find stillness in the rest of the arms and that flicking water just coming from the wrist, coming from the fingers? Beautiful job. Last 10, breathing here. Starting to feel that energy, that warmth. And releasing the hands, shaking out the hands for a second. Wonderful job. Getting into the spine. A couple options here. If you already know you want to be on all fours, invitation to get on all fours to start with some spinal warm-ups. I personally like to start seated, and then I may or may not move into all fours. So just noticing again, how does the spine feel today? Are there any organic and natural movements that the body wants in terms of the spine and the back? Honoring that for a moment. And whenever you're ready, inhale to open the heart, leaning forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And exhale, round the spine, lean back, pushing the ground away or using the knees as kind of leverage as you lean back. Inhale, open the heart, open the chin. And exhale, round through the spine, tuck the chin in or push the ground away. Inhale, drop the belly, flare the tailbone, open the heart. Receive that energy and exhale, rounding the spine, moving at your own breath. Perhaps starting to find some flow with the breath and the movement. Beautiful job wherever you are. Engaging through the torso, through the hips. Last 3 at your own pace. Wonderful job releasing and relaxing whenever you're ready. Next, we're going to focus on opening up the ribs for better breath and better breathing. Inhale the arms up towards the sky. And just like you're trying to climb a ladder, reaching for the next step of the ladder with your hands, stretching through the side body here, through the rib cage, opening up. Breathing here. Wonderful job. And again, moving naturally. How does the body want to move? What feels good in your body? Wonderful job. Releasing the arms. And a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale out of the mouth. Great. Invitation to come to standing to get into the hips whenever you're ready. Taking a moment, if this is the first time you're really standing this morning, just taking a moment here to shift the hips, shift your weight around, right? Ground through the feet. And I always like to do about 1 minute of just gentle shaking. So options for shaking to come up onto the tippy toes and just drop the heels. If you need a little bit more, you feel like your energy is a little bit stagnant, you can just start bouncing here, shaking out any stagnant energy. Shaking through the shoulders and the arms, releasing in the body. Think about if you've picked up on anybody else's energy, you're trying to get it off of you, trying to shake it off of you. Bring the breath in here and inviting a couple of deep sighs. Wonderful job. Let's get into the hips, starting to circle out the hips, circling them one way. Moving with the breath. Bending at the knees wherever is applicable. Notice the feet grounding into the earth here. And asking yourself if your body could tell the story of how it feels this morning without using any words, right? How would the body want to move? Beautiful job with the hips. Slowly, any other standing intuitive movement for about 1 minute. Maybe it's shifting the arms left to right, swinging the arms back and forth, taking a couple of forward folds, maybe hanging, Again, just listening to your body. How is it that your body wants to move today? Where are you feeling it? Is it in the hamstrings or maybe in the back, in the arms? Getting out any sighs or sounds. And really turning inwards to listen to the body. And within the next 30 seconds, I'll meet you in Tadasana or mountain pose at the top of your mat or area. And as we come into mountain here, affirming to yourself, I arrive. Spreading all of the toes, feet are hips width apart or even wider, rolling the shoulders back and down, tucking the hips down and under. And taking a moment here, shifting the weight left and right, arriving fully present. Beautiful job. Inhale, arms rise up, gaze rises with the arms. And exhale, keeping the gaze at your thumb center, bringing the hands down towards the heart. Moving with your own breath, we're going to take 3 more of those. Inhale, arms up, gaze up. Again, affirming with the breath, I arrive right here, right now. Beautiful job. On your next exhale, affirming I release as you hinge from the hips and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. I create space. Forward fold, I release. Inhale, halfway, I create space. Exhale, I release. Last one, I create space, halfway lift. Place your hands on the ground, forward fold, I release. Step back, coming into a plank position here, pushing the ground away. Option to drop the knees if that's too much right now, no worries. Warming up through the core. I trust here, I trust. Take a deep breath in. Drop the knees down, option for 3 knee push-ups, building that strength, knowing that you can do it. I trust in myself. Yes, knees, chest, chin, coming all the way down flat. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, cobra pose, gazing forward, and exhale, coming back down. Come back through all 4s, inviting the hips back into child's pose. My heart remembers. My heart remembers. We'll be here for about 5 breaths. Breathing into the ribs. Wonderful job. And thinking about what your heart is remembering. Last breath here. Remember that you're doing enough, and at any time you can always come back to resting here. Coming through all 4s on your next inhale, tucking the toes, sending the hips up and back, coming into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking a moment here to pause, take your dog for a walk. Pedal out through the feet. Come up onto the tiptoes and send the heels over to the right. Heels back up and over to the left. Wonderful job. Inhale the right leg high. And exhale, step it through the hands. Coming up into a low lunge, option to drop the back foot down or not. And as we're here, finding your first warrior, opening up through the hands, finding your stillness. Beautiful job. Exhale the hands through the heart and open up to one direction. Open up the arms. Lunging twist. Exhale the hands back through the heart center and open up the other direction. We're going to do that 2 more times, moving with your own breath and your own pace. Wonderful. And last time. Beautiful job. And wherever you are, opening up towards the long edge of your mat, coming into a star pose. Opening the hands, stretching them up towards the ceiling, maybe coming all the way up onto your tippy toes. Beautiful job. Coming down into a goddess squat, squatting down, hands at the heart. Inhale, open up star pose. And exhale, squatting down. Wonderful job. Last 3. Moving at your own pace. And last 1. Wonderful job. Turning towards that front foot. Hands come down on either side of the foot. Step back into your plank position. Option to hold plank here. Drop down onto the knees. Option for 3 push-ups here, or knees, chest, chin. Chaturanga Dandasana. Whatever feels the best in your body. Inhale for cobra or upward dog. And exhale back, Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Taking your dog for another walk. Inhale the left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Wonderful job. Either drop the back knee or don't. Hands come up. And exhale, hands through the heart. Open up, facing one way. And coming back through center. Open up the other way. And again, noticing where can you find more compassion with yourself. Noticing if you fall out or if you're wobbling. Give yourself a little bit of a smile. A little bit of a, this is fun, right? Find the flow in it. Find the fun in it. Don't take yourself too seriously here. Last 2. And last 1. From this position, opening up, star pose on the other side. Open up the hands. And this time, invitation to interlace the hands of the lower back behind you. Open the heart. Hinge from the hips, coming into a wide-legged forward fold. And if there are any other variations with the hands that feel better for you, maybe grabbing at the ankles, reaching towards the ground or a block, pillow, even reaching towards the wall in front of you. All of them good options. Really getting into the hamstrings here. Slight bend in one knee and then the other knee. Again, just noticing what feels good in your body. Wonderful. Draw the last breath here. Release the hands back to the lower back. Unlace the fingers, rolling up, star pose. Invitation to turn the toes out towards the corner, heels in, squatting down into your goddess squat last time. This time hands can go on top of the thighs and shoulders dip down in between the legs, giving yourself a little bit of a twist here. Wonderful job. Inhale, star. And exhale, turning towards the front foot. Place the hands on the ground. The left foot meets the right foot. Option to hold plank. Option to drop the knees for 3 push-ups. Either way, knees, chest, chin, Chaturanga Dandasana, into Cobra or Upward Facing Dog. And exhale, Child's Pose, coming all the way back and down. Relaxing here. And noticing if the mind is wandering, how you can gently invite it back. Last couple deep breaths. An invitation, wherever you are, to slowly turn over, coming all the way onto your back. So we have the next minute for anything, again, that your body needs. Maybe it's lifting your legs up, circling out through the ankles. Maybe it's just an extra long shavasana, right, that you go into right now. Maybe it's a happy baby or a twist. Honoring the body wherever it is. Maybe you're just laying down, rolling around like a worm. Sometimes they need that organic, free movement. Mm, 30 more seconds. Wherever you are, finding yourself coming into Shavasana, laying on your back, the final resting position, and reminding yourself that you're doing enough. Releasing any control of the breath. And inviting in relaxation through the eyes and the eyebrows, through the jaw, relaxing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Take a moment here as you lay in Shavasana to imagine yourself at sunrise. This new week stretches before you, and behind you are all the conversations, the responsibilities, the expectations, the things that were left unfinished. You don't need to carry all of them right now. So imagine placing each one gently beside you, one by one, until you're standing or laying down with only yourself. And notice how your body feels. And notice your breath. And notice the quiet beneath the thinking. And asking yourself now, what part of me is asking to be welcomed home again this week? Sitting with whatever arises. And affirming to yourself silently, I arrive exactly as I am. I welcome every part of myself into this space. I do not need to earn my belonging. My breath is my guide home. Nothing is missing. I am remembering myself. I am whole. I carry this wholeness into my week. I am enough. I have always been enough. And slowly awakening through the fingers, the toes, the wrists and the ankles. Maybe taking a stretch like you just woke up. And affirming here, I listen deeply. Everything I need is already within me. And at your own time and pace, coming up to a seated position. I invite you to place your hands together in Anjali Mudra at the heart center, remembering that we have many choices that we get to make every day. And inviting you to repeat, I choose presence over perfection. I choose compassion over criticism. I choose curiosity over certainty. And I can choose to begin again and again. I return to myself. I return to my breath. I return to this moment. And I return to what matters most. I awaken to the wisdom that has always lived within me. And I carry that wisdom into my week. I'll close with a mantra, and it's a mantra for all beings everywhere, and may we offer the fruits of this practice to them. May they all be happy and free. May the thoughts of our words, actions, and thoughts contribute also to that freedom. And we'll close with 3 ohms. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Placing the thumbs together to the Agnya Chakra, the third eye center. Jai Ma, Jai Gurudev. May the divine energies bless your practice. Thank you so much for practicing with me. And every week we will explore different doorways into ourselves. We have monthly themes, so slowly we will build a practice that extends far beyond our mats and into the Sangha, where we can all come together and share. So my hope and my dream for you all is that this becomes your weekly ritual with me, a place to begin again and again and again. So thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope you have the most beautiful day ever. Sending you so much love and blessings and positive energy. And thank you again for being here.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Sunaina.
Yes, welcome.